Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's been some time since I've been on here, so I thought I'd shoot a video today. It's not a really long video, but it's one that's just talks about the new Ocean One that's been released. I don't think there's a lot on it right now on YouTube, but I thought I would throw my impressions or my thoughts. I got the watch coming on loan to me from a friend of mine. So we're going to be taking a look at the new Ocean One 42, probably sometime at the end of this week. But I thought I would get on and just make you guys aware if any of you guys are into Steinhart like I am. You may be interested to know that the old Steinhart, the old Ocean One as we knew it, I think it's been discontinued. I can't say that with any real certainty, but if you go on their website and you look for the Ocean 139 millimeter or the Ocean 142 black ceramic, you're probably not going to see it on there. Actually, I didn't see it on there. So if you see it on there, I'd be pretty amazed because it didn't come up for me. So I don't know if you could still get it from Nomad. I haven't checked their website, but I would think if they're still selling it, it's probably old stock. So, like they say, nothing lasts forever, and the original Ocean One, as we knew it, ran. That would be this one here. Ran for, I want to say, when Mr. Steinhart broke away from the Beaufray or the Fabre, whatever the name of the old company was, that he was doing design work with or in collaboration with or for. I have no idea what that relationship was. I can't speak to it because I really don't know a lot about it. So I'm not going to make myself look stupid by saying something that's totally incorrect. But in 2001, Mr. Steinhart decided that, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to run it my way. And he was doing the Ocean One. He made some improvements to the watch that the Beaufray was selling. The Beaufray was making a watch that was very similar to the Ocean One. But Mr. Steinhart came and he did some improvements to that watch. And that watch ran from 2001 till, well, just recently, 2026. So it had a good, 25-year run, which is pretty good. Actually, it might have been too long because I think that the the improvements that he made to the new watch were probably just long overdue. Such as, people complained about the clasp, and I was one of those people. People also complained about the articulation not wearing as well as it should. As far as, like, 50 and a half millimeters that's a long stretch for a lug width. I mean, that makes the watch wear kind of uncomfortably for some. It depends on your wrist. I did talk about this in some of my other videos. So that would be this model. And now this model, I've done some modifications to. You can see that the handset's different. I did showcase this watch a few times in other videos on my channel, but it has a different. It's got a what do they call that? It's a diver's clasp, but it has full articulation. Let me see, rather than talk about it, I'll just show you. So I did this one with a Miltat clasp that all you do is you hit these buttons here and you can pull out one side so you get the full adjustment, and then just close it back up. But the way that this watch fits on the wrist, that right there, some people had a problem with that, and Steinhart's new Ocean One addresses that. They still do it's still a 42 millimeter case on the new watch, but they turn the lugs down just slightly. And the best way that I can describe that was this is an Ocean 3, which is no longer in production. They used to make the Ocean 3 in a GMT, as well as this is a three-hander. I don't have any GMT watches in my collection because Well, I don't travel, and it's a complication that I don't really need. Um, I'm not gonna talk or throw shade on GMTs because I think that there's a lot of people who do travel and they use that complication. So I'm not one of those people. It's just not a useful complication for me, and I just find it to be one of those things that it's one more thing that could fail, and I just assume, say, you know what, I'm just not interested. One of the things that I noticed about the Ocean 3, well, we're going to take a look at this at the end of the week, but when the other watch arrives. But to talk about the Ocean 3 real quick, it is a 42 millimeter case, all right, and it does articulate a little bit better. You see where the lugs curve down. So, like, if you're looking at the original versus, you see how the original is kind of blocky, and it really doesn't articulate at hardly at all. Whereas the Ocean 3 kind of does. Now, one of the strange things about the Ocean 3 was it was only it's only rated at 100 meters, but it comes with a screw down crown and everything. And I'm like, why would I guess maybe they just didn't certify the case for diving. I don't know. I guess there's a cost to doing that. They didn't do it on this watch, but this watch kind of reminds me of like a Black Bay that's not as thick. Like you look at the Tudor Black Bay 41 millimeter. This watch looks a lot like that. It comes with the snowflake hands already out of the box. This watch I got from Olco Watches, who is also in Germany. So they're also a distributor for Steinhart there. So I don't know, like maybe Olco is on a different, like I know that they're a website too, but maybe she has that's Olga Koch. So maybe she has a boutique or a store someplace that I'm not aware of, but I know that Steinhart does. So if you're in what is that? Is that, I don't know if it's pronounced correctly. I may say it wrong, but if it's Stuttgart, I guess. Over in Germany, Mr. Steinhart has his facilities there. So like if you're in the area, you can actually go and visit and buy a watch, and there's a showroom there. He also has like that's where you would send your watch if you had any kind of like warranty issues, needed a repair. You can send your watch back there. So one of the people that commented when the new watch was announced, he commented and said he was just in there in the showroom, and he said he didn't see any of the older version Steinharts there, the original the original case. He didn't see it, and he found that to be a little strange. And then when you go on the website, they're not there either. So I'm guessing that watch has been canceled. Now, what happened to the old stock? I have no idea. I mean, maybe there wasn't much left of the old stock. Maybe he ran it out until the very end. I can't speak to any of that. These are just things I notice. So can I say with certainty that the Ocean One has been canceled? I really don't know. It looks like it has been though. It looks like this watch is not this watch. It looks like, yes, it looks like this watch here is no longer in production. Just so you know, the new watch is going to also have a similar case. I don't know if it's the same case or not. It might be, but I won't know that until the new one arrives and I can compare the two. But what I do know about the new one is it will have a ceramic bezel insert. It'll also have, this has a slight domed sapphire crystal. The new one will also come that way. The strap on it will have polished center links. This one is actually from this is a regular Ocean One Oyster bracelet that I had put on. The original bracelet that came on this watch had rivets along the side, and it was a real bear to try to size. So I said, you know what? I didn't want anything to do with that. So I still have it. It's brand new. It's just sitting in a box. So, but this watch is it's a pretty cool watch. I at the time when this watch was available, you could have gotten it in like a navy blue and a black. I just opted for black. I've had this watch for about 2 years. It's no longer in production. Like I said, you can't get it anymore. But the new Ocean One takes a lot of design elements from this model. So I don't even think that Mr. Steinhart had to really do a lot as far as like getting, you know, it sounded. I really do believe that this case is what is it's either the same case but certified, a 300-meter diver, or it's slightly different but not all that different than this case. So it could be the same case and it might not be. So I'm not going to commit to either one of those comments, but we don't know. Now, the other thing that they did do to the watch is they also they took the clasp that was, everybody hated the original clasp. Most people did not like that friction lock clasp. I don't have that handy to take a look at, but there was an improvement made to the bracelet and the clasp. So the bracelet is pretty much the same, with the exception that it has polished center links. Some people don't like that. I'm okay with it. It's good. It just makes it look more flashy. However, what is an improvement is that clasp. I don't have any clasp laying around that I could show you, but the new clasp is a on the fly, or an OTF, which means that in the shell, the adjustment shell, the bracelet itself slides back and forth by pushing a button on the inside of the clasp, and you can move kind of like the one that I showed you guys on the channel. If you look at some of the WD5513s, that's the watch dives. If you've watched any of my videos, some of those were the on-the-fly clasp. Picture that, but at a higher quality. That's what Steinhart decided to use, where it's got dual push buttons, opens up, and then you can adjust the clasp. Honestly, it's probably I think it's one of the nicest clasps out there, like as far as a design. Very, very good. It's something that a lot of people in some of the interest pages on Facebook had said, hey, do you think we'd be able to take that clasp and put it on our older watches? And I think the answer to that question is yes. I think you'd be able to, because if you look at the Oyster bracelet, let's imagine this. So this is a flat end link right here. Okay, so this is what you would use to put it onto it uses spring bars to hook up to this clasp here. So you have two of these, one on each side, to make this work. Where if you took this flat link off, right? You see that link there? That's that male link that goes into the female link. So this flat link is a female, and then the link that's on the bracelet is a male. So with the new watch, you would basically go find where what you would do is if you had the replacement clasp would have that link here that's able to mesh up with a current bracelet. So all you would do is you take the old bracelet off, and then you would just add in the new replacement bracelet. Now, I don't know if he's going to offer those clasps online. I would think, honestly, a smart thing to do would be to offer that clasp as an upgrade for people who have, this watch, right? I just think it would be advantageous for someone. Actually, it's this one. This is the original one. So this one here, or even the Ocean. Well, the Ocean 3, you can't do it because it comes with a different. If you have an Ocean 3, you can change up the bracelet. You can put an Oyster bracelet on this if you want, and you can do exactly what we're talking about. So, like, let's say he offers that new clasp as an upgrade, that you can just swap it out. Honestly, it's an easy swap. It's a higher end clasp than what we've been accustomed to with these watches. So I think the answer to that question is yes, you can swap them out. They just go in with screws. You just unscrew the link, and you're on your way. Should take no more than 5 minutes to do that. But will they become available? That's the question. I hope they do, because I think that's going to help people who have the original watch should make it just a little bit nicer. Now, what you'll have to do with that clasp is if you're going to put it on a bracelet that's entirely brushed, you're going to have to get like a Scotch Brite pad or something like that to knock the polish down. But that shouldn't take very long to do. Is it should be a very simple fix. But that's pretty much all I got about these watches. I only use the Ocean 3 as an example because I really do believe that that they used the Ocean 3 as some kind of design inspiration for the replacement of this watch. The other thing that they did that's a little different, they did something different with the crown guards. I don't know exactly what. They also did you see how this is actually smoother. Some people complained about the bezel catching on stuff. I don't know what these people are talking about. Some people that were bitching, I don't know if these people are trolls or, because every now and then, Divers Watch is a forum on Facebook that's probably one of the worst. I think it's one of the worst pages ever for people just posting stuff, and then there's always an asshole that comes out and has to say something negative. Steinhart seems to draw a lot of trolls who say they've had the watch and they've had problems, or for whatever reason, they just find ways to hate on the company. I don't really understand what it is. I think it's people that are just pissed off because they spent way too much on a watch, and then this watch comes out and it's less, and it gives you a lot, not a bang for the buck. But you don't get that prestige of wearing a $15,000 watch. I really do believe a lot of that. Why people wear those really expensive watches, I just think that it's more like, look at me, I made it. And then when something comes out that kind of challenges that perception, I think that the people who have these watches have to come out and hate. Then again, some people they just want to stir up bullshit. Why can't you just keep scrolling on? Why do you have to say something negative? And I never understood that. I have 12 of these watches, and if I thought they sucked, I would never have bought a second one. So I haven't been in this hobby that long, but I do know that I know when something's quality, and I know when something's junk. These watches are not junk. This particular watch is 11 years old, and it keeps perfect time. I mean, this thing really is. It has to be serviced at some point, because I don't think it's ever had a servicing. But ultimately, now that the watch is no longer in production, they become valuable to me in my collection. So that's how I look at the new Steinhart versus the old one. Now, the other thing that they did was they still have the Mercedes hands. They still keep using that. I really wish this was an opportunity I think Steinhart kind of missed on, and I'm going to talk about that when the new watch comes. But I think that they could have gotten away from it. I think they could have went and they could have either developed their own handset, or even perhaps used the one that they use in the titanium model of the Ocean One. That watch might actually be that might be up for some type of redo. I don't know exactly if or when that will happen, but it's a pretty popular watch. I can imagine that if he's going to do a change, he's probably going to do it to that. Now, will that also apply to the OVMs and the vintage looking watches? I don't know. But it's we don't really know. We're just kind of going off of what's been announced lately, what we know, what's available. If a watch disappears, we got to wonder if it's coming back. But I think that's all that has something to do with sales and stuff like that. But anyway, I think Steinhart missed an opportunity to make the watch more really separated from the Rolex. But I think they could have drilled the lugs on it too. That would have been nice, but you can't have it all. But they did do enough. And what I'm saying about this Ocean 3, let me just show you why I think that this watch, the new watch, which should be pretty successful. If you look at the way it articulates on my wrist a little bit better than the original. It wraps around you know, the lugs kind of curve around a little bit more. This is a little bit loose. I probably could tighten it up a little bit more, but this also uses a Miltat clasp that I put on it. But it's a pretty cool watch nonetheless. Nice watch to have in the collection. But yeah, man, it's kind of a solemn day for me, knowing that the watch is, the original watch is gone, but gone but not forgotten. Because again, I've got about 11. I think I have 11 Ocean Ones in my collection, whether they be OVMs or the original Ocean One, and I have one Ocean 139. So anyway, that's all I got for today's video, guys. Stay tuned. The new watch, the new Ocean One Nova 42. That should be in probably, I'm thinking about Wednesday or Thursday. And again, I don't know how much has been talked about on YouTube about this, but I thought I would throw this out there. And if you're not subscribing to Low Budget Time, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like today's video. And as always, take care, stay safe, and be well. I'll see you guys in the next one.